Welcome back, Larry.
How are you, Rabbi Prag? What did you hear? What did you hear from the Rebbitzin?
I spoke to her this morning. Baruch Hashem, all the grandchildren are coming to me together on Shabbat. Very exciting. She had a wonderful time.
Good. The good news is the weather. After I left, the weather got nice. Eze mabul hayad. The minute I guess the Rebbitzin, every city I went to, Yerad Geshem. Barat said to say this Yerad Geshem. It's okay. It's a gishmei bracha wherever it is. That's all. And it's just good to be back. It's good to see. How do you feel?
Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. My wife left me a freezer full with food. I even have a guest for Shabbat. Tonight I got all the instructions at 5 o'clock in the morning. I had to put the chocolate, I had to put the fish. And
God bless. All right, good.
How did you find Max?
Ayef. Bemet ayef. But
he's working very hard.
Very. Mashuel says hello, Yuman, but let him be healthy. He loves it, and he's so involved. And he's in Eretz Yisrael. What's so gefelach? It's just good to see you. It's good to hear and see everybody get back on schedule. That's part of life, is what it is.
Yofi. We are on page 390, Parashat Yitro this week. Look at second page 396.
The Jewish people say they're from Yitro.
Yeah.
D-R-U-Z-E. They serve in the army. They drive like us.
What people?
Jews.
Yeah, are they Christians? What are they?
Neither?
Look on page 396. It's Perek Yudchet. ויהי ממחרת, וישב משה לשפוט את העם, ויעמוד העם על משה מן הבוקר עד הערב. This is a classic example. When you read the parasha, you listen to the parasha, ויהי ממחרת. Okay, yesterday we made a supper together, ויהי ממחרת. ויהי ממחרת is after Yom Kippur. Because Moshe Rabbeinu the next day is going up, comes down on Shabbat Tammuz and he breaks the Luchot, goes up again. So he comes after Kippur, Vayeshev Moshe Lishpot et Ha'am. His father-in-law is asking him, מה הדבר הזה אשר אתה עושה לעם? מדוע אתה יושב לבדך וכל העם ניצב עליך מן בוקר עד ערב? Does he care here for Moshe or he cares for the people or for both? Look at the Rashi. Rashi on the left column towards the end. Vayeshev Moshe vayamod ha'am. You see? Yoshev כמלך. וכולם עומדים.
Oh, that's how the Rambam gets that.
Pause. והוקשה הדבר ליתרו, yes? יתרו is an outside observer, feels bad, שהיה מזלזל בכבודם של ישראל, והוכיחו על כך, שנאמר, מדוע אתה יושב לבדיך וכולם ניצבים, yes? You're sitting like a king, everyone is telling, באמת, it's in every din Torah, that they're fine. מן הבוקר עד הערב, אפשר לומר, כן, אלא כל דיין שדיין דין אמת לעמיתו אפילו שעה אחת, any judge that sincerely finds the truth, מעלה עליו הכתוב כאילו עסק בתורה כל היום. This is אלוהים ניצב בעדת אל. Anyway, he's asking you to, what are you doing? So the real question now is, remember, the Jewish people came out from Egypt, Nisan. This is Kippur. Which din Torah do you have? I have a din Torah with Samuel. I claim that you build your fence. They were arguing the business. The people basically are supplied every morning with a bun, the wool, other stuff. who is fighting? Who is fighting is about Pele.
Look at it.
Human nature.
They'll find a way to argue.
Good Jews and how come that good Jews not that good?
Get tensions in my
You
space.
went
my
first. I was supposed to go first. People.
You ever see a fight when you go on vacation? Midwinter vacation, everyone is relaxed, no one is fighting.
It's not a
everyone-
fight that goes to Moshe.
Anyway, please remember that approximately hundreds of thousands of Arab Rav came with them. And they are not really, think for a minute, we never pay attention to. Are they part of the man or not?
Of course.
Are they part the man for sure because they have to eat
They
and
don't eat, yeah.
Now, all the Jews came out from Mitzrayim. They took Bizat Mitzrayim. They took the jewelry. They took twice. The Arab Rab did not have as much. This is where it comes to money. You have, see, it's not so much that I don't have. It's you have and I don't.
The Arab Rav were Jews? Like,
Who are they?
Are they Egyptians?
The real big question is, in 40 years, these millions of people are ending up in Israel. Where are they?
So there's something they died in.
No, so many people claim that the duration of the 40 years they have not fizzed away. I mean, some of them
Moshe converted them.
no. Some of them definitely integrated. Integrated, but the masses of people who talk about. Okay, anyway.
The Arab Rav was part of the 3 million, or in
No,
addition?
in addition. The Arab Rav al-Imam.
Yeah.
Vayomer, look at the answer, 398. Vayomer Moshe lechotno, כי יבוא אליי העם לדרוש אלוהים. מה זה לדרוש אלוהים? So look, Rashi says, לדרוש אלוהים כתרגומו למטבע ולפן. לשאול תלמוד. According to Rashi, they have questions in halacha.
So go back to Rivka. What is it? Vatelech Droshet Elokim.
But of course, he's right. He's a second.
They don't have so many mitzvot yet, but okay.
No.
No, they only have a little Shabbat, a little Parat. Not so much, right? Around about, we don't have a lot of fights about.
You open the Ramban on this pasuk. Remember, you should say on top of your book. Your book is Bereshit Shmot. Make sure it's Shmot. Make sure it says on top. Perek Yudchet. No, Yudchet. You tell the Perek Yudchet.
Where are you going now?
The Ramban. Look at the Ramban.
Okay, sure.
This is by you is page Pei Aleph. Semi on top Pei Aleph. כי יבוא אליי העם לדרוש אלוהים, says the Ramban, השיב משה לחותנו, צריכים הם שיעמדו עליי זמן גדול מן היום, כי לדברים רבים באים לפניי. כי יבוא אליי העם לדרוש אלוהים, קוראים את הרמב"ן, להתפלל על חוליהם. This is exactly what Larry said, ותלך לדרוש את השם, אתה זוכר?
Right.
רבקה, זה the exact same phrase. ותלך לדרוש, how come she's pregnant, what's going on? ולהודיעם, מה שיובד להם. תקשיב. כי זה יקרא דרישת אלוהים. Shaul, before he was anointed, went to look for the lost mules of his father. And his helper said, hey, there is a prophet here, let's go to him. כי וכן יעשו עם הנביאים, כמו שאמר לפנים בישראל, אצל זה ספר שמואל, כה אמר האיש בלכתו, לדרוש אלוהים, לכו ונלכה עד ארון. This is a quote from the Pasuk. This is why his helper says to him, says the Ramban, וכן,
You about him for lost objects, you mean?
שמה,
Lost object?
which means the case that he quotes is a lost object. But it means every time you were confused in
You
life,
need answers.
each one of us has many lost items and many questions. Every question, the Ramban, and he brings, and he brings,
Confused in life, like
he
there's
brings,
gas. What's
he
going on?
brings another third person.
So,
וכן, ודרשת את השם מאותו. ירבעם, yes? ודרשת את השם מאותו לאמור, האחיה וכל זה. Am I going to be cured 3 times? Once here, once by Rivka, twice in Tanakh, covers us what was the purpose of the original נביאים. שיתפלל עליו ויודיענו אם נשמעה תפילתו, וכן, עיר לאריו פסוק, ותלך לדרוש את השם כמו שפירשת. ועוד, שאני שופט אותם. See, so the Ramban is dividing the pasuk to 2. First is לדרוש אלוהים, as the Ramban says up to it. ועוד, כי יהיה להם דבר לפני ונהגו ונתבע אליי ושפטתי. ועוד אני מלמד אותם תורה, והודעתי להם את חוקי האלוהים ואת תורתם. Rashi straight went the midbar ulpan, they want to learn whatever they want to learn. According to the Ramban, it covers up. This is the source that in our history, many people used to go to real great people to consult with them and many personal questions. Anyway,
Rabbi, is this contradicting Tamim here?
the word?
Tamim, is this contradicting the concept? I know it doesn't contradict the concept of Tamim to here in Hashem Elokecha.
You remember the Rashi or the Ramban? What do you remember there? Look at the pasuk. Tamim tiyeh. Rashi says, "Al tachkor." If you want to know if 5 years from now your business is going to be up or down, al tachkor. You want to know if 5 years from now you'll be healthy or not, you have to do it. If currently you have a problem, someone has to solve it to you. Who is it? The Urim Tumim, or the Kohen, or the Navi, or the Ben Ish Chai. It's exactly the same. אחר עתידות. עתידות, זה לא נמצא עכשיו. עתיד, יהיה בעתיד. Anyway, Yitro gives him the advice and he's adapting it. If you really listen carefully, there are thousands of people who are being chosen to be leaders. Every army, every society basically is based on that. Okay. Look a second on page 400. The main part of this week's parasha, of course, is Matan Torah. בחודש השלישי יוצאת בני ישראל מארץ מצרים, ניסן אייר סיוון, ביום הזה ראש חודש באו מדבר סיני. Fine? The pasuk is already telling me that they arrived in מדבר סיני. What is ויסעו מרפידים? Refidim is the last place.
Yeah.
Look a second in Parashat Beshalach.
That's Amalek, no?
Amalek, this is exactly what Amalek came. Look a second on page 390.
But what do they need exactly that pasuk? I mean, what are we learning that pasuk? Yom Hazeb, where did they come from? Bar Sinai, they didn't come from Tel Aviv. I mean, where did they?
Because you have to know where you were to know how you are, right?
No, but this is exactly the point. Listen carefully. Vayavo Amalek, you see on the bottom 390. Vayilachem in Israel beRefidim. Refidim is the name of a place, and if you look on top of 390, Vayachanu beRefidim, on top of 390, Vayachanu beRefidim, ve'en mayim לשתות העם.
water.
Which means the minute the people are
Yeah,
starting to
strife.
complain,
Yeah, that's what
this is Vayavo Amalek.
Yeah, but you'll say my main the Torah.
Wait. Okay. Vayavo Amalek. So the obvious question back at page 400 is, everyone is asking me, if it says they arrived in Sinai, obviously they are away from the last stop. By Yisum Refidim, most of the commentators, but mainly the Or Chaim say, Vayisu, if you want to be ready for Kabbalat Torah, move away from your past. Everyone has challenges, everyone goes down. Refidim, the Gemara said, they Rafu Yedehem in Torah. Vayisu, move away from Refidim. This is condition 1. B, Vayavo Midbar Sinai. The Pasuk already said, Pasuk Aleph, Vayavo Midbar Sinai. The place that the Torah was given was in Midbar Sinai. Again, if the person is ready, not that he has to be in Midbar all his life. Are you ready? Are you ready before you receive the Torah to accept it in conditions even like Midbar? Then, of course, the end of the Pasuk, Vayichan Sham Israel Negedam. There is a long Or Chaim. If you have time, it's fascinating. The 3 preconditions. Vayisu Merefidim. The second is Midbar Sinai. Vayachanu Bamidbar. Vayichan Sham Israel Negedam. Look at the Rashi. Look at the Rashi. Vayichan Sham Israel, Rashi on the left. Vayichan Sham Israel, Keish Echad, Belev Echad. The only time in the duration of traveling in the desert, they were really united.
Able till now.
Aval Kol Sh'ar HaChanayot, every other place where they stop, Betaromet or B'machloket, that complains either against Moshe, against each other. Pay attention. Vayichan Sham Israel Keish Echad Belev Echad. Let's go back to when the Egyptians are chasing the Jewish people in Parashat Beshalach. Let's look at over there. The Egyptians are also united. But look a second on page 370. ופרעה הקריא, ויישאו בני ישראל את עיניהם והנה מצרים. מה זה נוסע? נוסעים. Look at the Rashi there. Look at the Rashi. נוסע אחריהם, second line, page 370. בלב אחד כאיש אחד. What is the difference between לב אחד, איש אחד and the Egyptians, and the Jews on 400 is כאיש אחד בלב אחד. All the Arabs are united, hating Israel. When they meet each other, they'll stab each other as fast as they can. They have a common goal. The lev echad, which means no, nothing changed. It's like by the Jews is keish echad, the lev echad. First, it's not we have a common goal and therefore we have to achieve it together. It's a הבדל גדול מאוד מאוד. Which basically what the pasuk is really telling us.
Oh, the lettuce, yeah.
The lev echad keish echad means in my heart we have the same goal. I mean, this is really what makes society. We have this precondition was very important here. Why? Look a second on 4:2. Look a second on Pasuk Hey. I'm really looking for Pasuk Chet, but we have to read Pasuk Hey to get to Chet. ועתה, אם שמוע תשמעו בקולי, ושמרתם את בריתי, if you really accept the covenant of the Torah, והיתם לי, only then you become סגולה, my treasure, my favorite, מכל העמים, כי לי כל הארץ. ואתם תהיו לי ממלכת כהנים וגוי קדוש. Remember, this is what Moshe has to deliver now to the Jewish people. Listen carefully. ויבוא משה, ויקרא לזקני העם, וישם לפניהם את כל הדברים אשר ציווה. Listen, you are about to receive a constitution. If you accept it fully, you are becoming special. ויענו, pay attention now, כל העם יחדיו, page 402, סיימי, ויענו כל העם יחדיו ויאמרו, כל אשר דיבר השם נעשה. Remember that we know the slogan, נעשה ונשמע, here it doesn't say so. סיימי, תסתכל. ויענו כל העם יחדיו ויאמרו, כל אשר דיבר השם נעשה. Where do we have the famous נעשה ונשמע, believe it or not? The end of next week's parasha. Go to Mishpatim, the end of Mishpatim is the second half. The second half of Kabbalat Torah. Look at second on page 440. This is Perek Chav Gimel, Pasuk Zayin, Chav Gimel, Pasuk Zayin. ויקח ספר הברית, ויקרא באוזני העם ויאמרו, כל אשר דיבר השם נעשה ונשמע.
כל הספר הברית.
Okay, the Ramban, Rashi. Pay attention. But here it doesn't say ויאמרו כל העם יחדיו. ויקרא באוזני העם ויאמרו, כל אשר דיבר השם נעשה ונשמע. Says the Meshech Chochmah, hear this? Says the Meshech Chochmah, let's go back to 402. Says the Meshech Chochmah, Taryag mitzvot will give it to us as a nation. There was never a person, one person, single person, who can fulfill all the mitzvot. Some are for women, some for men, some for Kohanim, some for Levim, for judges, for kings, for farmers. But, hear this? If kol ha'am is yachdav, תשמע מה שהוא אומר, we become like one body in our personal body. Every organ, the heart, the lungs, the liver, the kidneys, the brain, each one is contributing and each one is receiving. In our body, every organ and every body is given and receiving. If it's kol ha'am yachdav, it says, we are like one body. So the farmer does terumot u'masrot peyah kilayim, and we get it. We do our part, he does his part. The woman, the judge, this is only kol ha'am yachdav. So vayanu kol ha'am yachdav, if we are sincerely yachdav, then kol asher diber Hashem na'aseh.
But you know, Rabbi Prague,
Yes.
the Lashon, going back to, I'm always interested, Vanita va'amarta. Here again, Vanita va'amarta. Moshe must have said something and they repeated it. That's
Aniyah, la'anot.
yeah, because otherwise, what would it be? Vanita Marta, Rami Oveda V. It's Anita Vamarta. And although I think Vatanu, Vatanena Kolanashim Achara.
Right. So over there,
Vanita Vamarta, it's an expression, fascinating expression.
so this is here in Yitro.
Yeah.
But if you go to the end of Mishpatim, it doesn't say anymore, Vayanu kol ha'am yachdav. If they're not really united, this is Naaseh v'nishma. What is the Nishma, David?
Word.
The Gemara says, if you learn Torat Chatat, כאילו יקריב Chatat. If you learn Halachot of Ma'asrot, כאילו יקריב. So the Nishma, if we are not one, we're not really one. This is, then I cannot do, I'm not a farmer, and I'm not a judge, I'm not a woman. I have to learn and feel that this is part of me. But here, Vayanu Kol Ha'am, this is really the shoresh, this is really the root of serious unity. All these good speeches that we hear are true, and this is a fair word. But in reality, so one of the great Hasidic masters, David Mileva, this is 200, Aish Kadosh. His son was very sick. And you realize all the Hasidim came together and they met, Palermo, and they gave tzedakah, whatever. His son was cured. And the Rebbe starts to cry and he says, there are many other Jewish kids. Who is doing it for them? Look what we can do if we come. But the Ka'avlo, but he was,
Rabbi Pasuk, hey, it says Li Kol Haaretz. It seems like, why is that thrown in there? It doesn't seem like it should be part of the Pasuk.
if you're coming, Eli, imagine someone is telling us today, that we, the Jews, are Segula Mikol Ha'amim. You're laughing. China, India, Russia, Europe. Hashem says, you are the minority, but you are my favorite. If you are observing Kili Kol Haaretz, otherwise it's an empty promise. Semi, in reality, מה פירוש ואתם תהיו לי ממלכת כהנים וגוי קדוש. What is the English translation? Rani Pasuk 6.
You shall be to me a kingdom of ministers and a holy nation. These are the words that you shall speak to the children of Israel.
So everyone thinks always that we have to do what we have to do to impress others. It means even others would realize, yes? I mean,
Israel, how they carry themselves, people will realize.
Israel gave back hundreds of. Did anyone accuse them of not giving them a pita a day? There's no Avam. There's no Avam. We should retaliate. Look at them. So the guy that came 2 weeks ago, they had in concentration. Pita a day. Like it was 40 pounds.
And rotten, it's rotten.
Salim Bambaji made us listen last night. Listen to this. You remember when Israel went and bought 17,000 Jews from Ethiopia?
Yeah.
So first,
great story, Rabbi. Great story.
First, Israel had to negotiate with the communist leader of Ethiopia. How much money do we have to pay? Fine, he wanted that. Then he says, this part I never heard. Then he said, the precondition is you have to convince President Bush, the first Bush, to.
Yesterday, Nancy told me the story. This just came out?
It just came out.
Oh, it just came out.
Listen to the story. You have to convince President Bush to write me a personal request
To the Prime Minister of
Ethiopia.
Rabbi, recognizing the government.
Basically, no, everyone, America did not recognize the Ethiopian government, but if you write me, anyway, Israel sent messages to Washington. Bush says it's difficult for us to do. I mean, we are not recognizing
this communist government.
He took his
Cabinet.
yeah, you have to listen to this.
Ronnie, you didn't hear the story?
No, I didn't hear.
I didn't hear it either. Listen.
He took,
I thought we
He had a meeting with the cabinet.
anyway, he has a meeting of the cabinet and people are negotiating back and forth, back and forth. Most of them were opposing it.
Rabbi, it was a tie, and there was up to one guy.
I mean, this is the story. This we have to check. But
Yeah, that was a tie, and it was up to one guy.
Colin Powell, yes.
Yes, Colin Powell.
Let me tell you a story about my family. We lived in the Bronx.
He was a Shabbos guy.
No,
No.
the Shabbos boy I
There
heard before, but this part I never heard.
Yeah.
He said there was a big fire in our apartment building. Basically, me and my brothers, two brothers, were
Trapped on the fourth floor.
and stuck on the fourth floor. A Jewish neighbor, he said,
Wet the blanket.
went the blanket, made it very wet, wrapped himself, ran in,
Broke the
said,
door.
says Colin Powell, I'm here
Because this
Because I mean, some
No,
Mavinas.
the whole punchline, Rabbi. And the parents came, said, they hugged them, thank, what can we do for you? Well,
Right.
you saved our children.
Right, he said-
What can we pay you? What can we? I'm a Jew. I
Right.
never saw a mitzvah.
The parents. No, but you realize
And then he
50
says, this is my mitzvah.
50 years later, 50 years
Where do
later,
you hear this? Where is this?
it's a recording. I mean, Salim, everyone.
I'll forward it to you guys.
I'll
It's in,
forward it for you.
Thanks, Ike. Forward it up.
Chat, please, Ike.
Thanks, Ike.
Okay.
What are you gonna do?
After I heard it, Shmato, Pesach Kron has a story, he has the name. There was a young, very inspiring rabbi that went to, I forgot the name, a small city 60 miles away from Toronto. He's trying to build a community, but he realized unless we have a nice shul, we cannot compete with the conservative welfare. This is in the 60s or 50s, he needs $150,000. Most of his community are not. But he decided, let me try. He goes to the bank and he decided he's not saying that he's an Orthodox rabbi, because if you're an Orthodox rabbi, there's no way you can pay a loan like that. And he's not mentioning, he says, we have a plan to build a synagogue, he's there. But the head of the bank, which denomination are you? I'm Orthodox. Says, granted.
Really? To his surprise.
Says to him, what is that? Says, when I was a kid, this is a book. My father died in a terrible accident, fire accident. My mother was left with 3 orphans. This is before social services. There was a big department store in our town, and the owner was an Orthodox Jew. He knocked on our door and he says, whenever you need anything, if you can pay, pay. If not, it's my store. He says, I grew up in this store. Then now he says, I was looking to it, to do it.
Payback.
But this is attempt to you. It's not that I'm doing it to impress. You have
My
to,
payback.
Payback.
yeah, but you have to,
No, just doing it.
you have to radiate that we are sincere. You remember the mills in over there in Massachusetts?
Oh, yeah, Malden Mills.
Malden
Malden
Mills.
Mills, remember?
The
That was
owner said,
crazy.
the whole factory burned down. He said, I'm paying
The
everybody.
president put him in, State of the Union, stand up, this man.
No, but
Paying everybody a salary till we rebuild.
No, but but this is the point. This is the attempt to Yuli Mamlechet Kohanim.
Did you tell us a story once about in Detroit, the editor of the
Right,
newspaper?
he brings it in his book. The editor, I'm telling you, the editor of the, this is a story for tonight, so the editor of the story. He gets up, a big convention, and he says, Rabotai, you know, I'm Irish. I'm
The editor of newspaper in Detroit.
in Detroit. And he says,
In this way.
In Detroit.
Detroit.
and anyway, he says, if you realize I never wrote anything negative against the state of Israel. Let me tell you why. This is a Jewish convention. He says, my mother was an immigrant from Ireland, fell into Detroit. She knew nothing. She never saw Jews in her life. She found a job in the house of the president of the Orthodox Jew. At that time, if you remember, I remember also, every Jewish family took vacation around Christmas. A week before Christmas, family goes over. My mother is,
He's watching the house.
she's decorating the house for Christmas. She didn't know the Jews are around.
Irish lady.
He says to them, when the owner comes back, he says they have to drive twice around the block.
So it wasn't their house. And he's the president of the show.
Anyway, he comes in, this is how he tells the story. He takes my mother to his office and says, you did an unbelievable job. This is magnificent. But you should know that we are Jews, we're not, it's not for us. You take all the decoration of your house, but I want to give you a special gift to show you the $50. This is says, I grew up with this story. My mother always says, these are the Jews. So the editor of the Detroit Sun, it's the same story. But remember, it's not that we are doing it for payday. תסתכל טוב, ואתם תהיו לי ממלכת כהנים ודור קדוש. I remember reading that one of the Hungarian Jews that was taken to the train says to his neighbor, the goy, don't forget to feed my this and this every morning. I'll be hungry. Anyway, remember, it's easy, everyone knows it, but this is the parasha. Our mission in life here is that everyone that looks at this says there's something special about it. Something special about it. You know, the Yafa Eliach in a book has about a third of the stories from the Bluzhever Rebbe. She heard the Bluzhever Rebbe the last few months of his life was in NYU. Simply that after he died, the main nurse of the floor, a German lady, wants to convert. People told him, you are German, you are not so young. Says after seeing that this man, the suffering that he had, behaved, the way he treated people around him, if there is a religion like that, she sees that she converted, she married a doctor, he lost his wife, she lives in the 5 towns. I mean, everyone heard this from someone who knows. But this is our mission. Every time on Erev Yom Kippur, in the first Tachlan, did I live up for this or not? But again, not to the beliefs. Every place you go.
So last Thursday, we're walking out of my daughter's house, me and my wife. At 6:30, we're going to go to dinner. We're tired. There's a lady standing in front of Joey Neva's house. She looks lost. It's cold that night. She's standing there with a bag. Can I help you? She says,
Now you can hear the story. Sammy.
Yeah, I'm hearing Sammy tell the story. Hi, Sammy. Yeah, your wife, you left for a restaurant.
So we didn't get to the restaurant. So we see she's lost. She says, look, I parked my car and I can't find it. I've been looking for 2 hours.
Oh.
Where East 8th Street, RNS. Where did you go? I went to a dentist on East 13th and Kings Highway. Wow. So you're too far away. All right, come in the car, we'll find it. Right. In the middle of the block was going this way. Did you cross Coney Island? I don't think so. Now we go to East 16th. Did you go past the train? No, I don't think so. Anyway, long story short, she went to the police. They said, we'll get back to you. Long story short, an hour and a half later, we could not find her car. We went to every street. We didn't know what to do anymore. She said, please, just leave me off on the corner. All right? As we're leaving her off on the corner, the police calls. This means 3.5 hours later. We're going to come to see if we can help you. Listen, lady, call us in an hour. If something happens, she lives in West Hempstead.
West Hempstead.
West Hempstead. So I said, Nancy, if she didn't find the car in an hour, we may have to drive her to West Hempstead. Because she doesn't want to go to West Hempstead. Because she wants to come find her car.
Yeah.
So she tells me, I have to ask her to sleep over. Another slave. Anyway, we call after an hour. What happened? The police came. They asked if she has LoJack. She says, I don't know. The police called up the dealer.
Wow.
The police found out she had LoJack, and they found the car. So on East 18th, between S&T, the wrong side of the train. She said, no, I didn't park there. So I call her up. I say, Shaniqua, did you get home yet? Banta? She's black. Shaniqua.
Yeah.
So some people said, I tell the story, they go like this.
You gotta put her in the house.
Shaniqua? Yeah, she's a lady. She needs help. This is Colin Powell. No, Nancy wants her to let her sleep by us. Whoa.
So I have a story there. I told the story before, I'll tell it again. Many years ago, many years ago, my wife wasn't well. I had to go get medicine for her from the drugstore. She was in pain. I leave with one of my kids, and there's a lady sitting on the range in this porch, old Italian lady. She looked lost. I said, "Are you okay?" She said, "I'm lost." I said, "Oh, you're lost? Where do you live?" She lived on 2742 East 3rd Street. I said, "Oh, okay. I'll get in the car, take you." We go there. There's no such address, no such place. Maybe it's Western. Oh, I don't know. Okay, I go to Western. Any big buildings nearby that you live? There's a big building. I think it was a Jewish school. I take out here as an Ocean Parkway. No. I drive around. Anything else? No. Now my wife's waiting for the medicine, and she doesn't know where she is. I said, "Well, am I going to take her to the police station?" Take her to the police station. I told the desk sergeant what happened. He said, "Okay, you can leave her here. Take care of her." She tells me, "I'm hungry." So I bought her food from the thing. I sit down. He said, "Okay, you can go." And I said, "No, my mother's about the same age. I think I'll stay a little while, see what happens." So sure enough, about an hour later, meanwhile, my wife's waiting for the medicine. The family calls and they ask her, they found that they're going to connect. The family's coming back to the police station to pick her up. I said, "Okay." I got home, I got a tongue lashing from my wife, wherever I need the medicine. Okay, the next morning, the next day, I come home from work, my mother calls me. "You know what happened to me today? I went to Aaron's downtown Brooklyn to buy a dress. I parked my car, I had to walk a few blocks to go there, not a great neighborhood. When I got back, I left my keys in the car, I couldn't get in my car. I'm in a bad neighborhood, the kids are playing in the playground, and I don't know what to do, I'm lost." A local guy, a local kid, whatever his nationality, says, "Lady, can I help you?" She ignores him, she's afraid. He's, "Lady, I'll help you." No. She says, "Let me help you." "Well, I locked my keys in my car." He went to get a hanger, he couldn't get it. He said, "Look, there's a gas station 2 blocks away. I'll go to the gas station, I'll get somebody to help you." Comes back 5 minutes later, says the gas station's closed, but there's another one in the other direction 4 blocks later. "I'll get it." He came back with the guy from the gas station, they opened it up. She took $20 to give me. He says, "No, this is my good deed for the day." No, I had the Hesed the day before,
Right.
she rewarded
Paid
the
back.
very next day
Gotta pay back.
with my mother, because I said, have a mother the same age.
Well, remember, we remember all the stories, the common denominator when we go in. Remember that we happen to have brothers called Jews also. No. I mean, it's obvious when it comes.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Hashem, we should all live to that standard, B'ezrat Hashem.
Look a second. Look a second. This is look at 404. This is the Chafetz Chaim. It's really connected to all the stories we have now. It's like, look, Hashem is telling Moshe, make sure, והגבלת את העם סביב around the mountain, ישמרו לכם עלות להר ולגור בקצה. כל הנוגע בהר מות יומת. לא תיגע בו יד. Can you imagine? The Gemara spends pages on it. Whoever went up for the duration of these few hours, even if an animal, says the Chafetz Chaim, what's going on? Yeah. There's a mountain. Yesterday it was Klum. Tomorrow it's Klum. But while the Kedusha is there, the mountain is engulfed with Kedusha. Says the Chafetz Chaim, imagine a real Talmid Chacham, the Torah becomes part of him. And here, Hashem says to them, Bimshoch hayovel ema ya'avu ba'ar. Listen carefully, Hashem, this is for many people that me and you, everyone knows. Hashem is telling them in advance, for the duration of the revelation of Sinai, no one can go up. The minute the shofar stops, says them, למה צריך להגיד להם את זה עכשיו? As I'm telling you that, says the Meshech Chochmah.
What do you mean עכשיו?
No, תסתכל. He's telling them, you're around the mountain, don't dare climb up. The minute the shofar stops, you can go up. למה צריך להגיד את זה עכשיו? I mean, remember, he's preparing them for Matan Torah, so I have to tell them. אומר המשך חוכמה, the Torah wants to teach us. In Judaism, objects never become kadosh. I mean, can you imagine the Shekhinah went down to the Har, Matan Torah was there. You want to make it a shrine, and there's a Shum Kedusha. Only the Torah. So, Madua Har Sinai.
That's nothing.
Was the place was selected for that. And Har HaMoriah with the Akedah remains Kadosh forever. Hallelujah.
Yeah, what's the difference?
Difference is here we receive. In Har HaMoriah we get. When a man gives out whatever he has, this leaves a permanent impression. Here the Jewish people basically
But Israel has the Kedusha and the burning bush.
only the Tov.
Yeah, my
Rabbi, Rabbi, I missed it. Rabbi, say, I didn't hear you well. You said that, why was Har Sinai?
By Har Sinai, we are on the receiving side. Yeah,
Right.
okay, so for the duration of the event, it's Kadosh.
Right.
Har HaMoriah, when a human being is willing to sacrifice his son, this leaves a permanent Kedusha. So Sammy is asking, Eretz Israel is Kadosh, but not as a Shirah.
Different.
No, Kol HaMitzvot, this is what
They have more mitzvot there.
Kol HaMitzvot, the Kuzari says in the Kedusha of Eretz Israel, as a matter of fact, the Bach says that the reason why we make Beracha Me'en Shalosh, says all the Kedusha of the land comes to us through the
No, but the Midrash says Moshe Rabbeinu with the burning bush was at Sinai.
right.
Pasuk says, "Via Makom Mateh Kadosh."
So
Sounds like Sinai was
Oh,
Kadosh.
if you look carefully, Yofi. So it says the Yofi. Look at the Ramban. You have the Ramban. Sam is asking Hashem, when Hashem appeared to Moshe in the burning bush, Hashem says to him, "Ki hamakom asher ata omed alav kodesh Yofi." Yofi. The Ramban is addressing exactly your point.
And I think they think it was Har Sinai. It sounds
No,
like
it is. It was.
it was Har Sinai. So it's
Listen.
forever Har Sinai.
Listen. Look at page Chet by you Chet. Sefer Shmot Chet.
Perichet.
No.
Page
Page Chet. It's Perek Gimel. Perek Gimel Pasuk Yeri. Listen to the amazing Ramban. כי המתקום אשר אתה עומד עליו, אדמת קודש, אף על פי שהיה רחוק מן הסנה, הזהירו, כי נתקדש כל ההר ברדת השכינה על ראש ההר. Right now,
That moment.
בדיוק what the Ramban is saying. ברדת השכינה כאשר בשעת מתן תורה, exactly.
Otherwise, not.
Otherwise, זה לא קדוש.
Technically right.
Objects are not kadosh. The Torah is the source of all the kedusha. Oh, okay, have a wonderful day.
Good Shabbos.
Shabbos, nice to have you back.
Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi.
Shabbat
Very good to
Shalom.
see
Thank
you,
you, Rabbi.
Rabbi.
Shabbos all.
Shabbat.